So how do you manifest prosperity? How do you really manifest prosperity? You have millions of YouTube videos out there telling you to just visualize it. Try to feel prosperity as if it's already here. Use your affirmations. Rewire your subconscious mind. What I'm going to do here is give you a 5-part framework to really make this happen. And the first thing that we need to do, number 1, is recognize that there is a missing piece in the way that this is typically taught. There's a crucial weak link in the puzzle. So if you've had the experience of trying to manifest money before, trying to manifest wealth, and you've come up short, or you seem to get like partial results, but then it just returns to the old default setting, we need to get real with ourselves about what's really going on here. So trying to affirm, trying to visualize, trying to become that person without the results in your circumstances yet can definitely have some value. However, it's not the entire equation. And the first thing we want to get clear on here is, what is the missing piece? What's really missing in our quest for prosperity? And that's what I want to hopefully illuminate for you over the next few minutes. So the way I've come to understand the human experience is that we are all infinite beings that came here to play this fun game of pretending like we're limited. And if you look at reality in this third density realm of the human game, the human story, there's a lot of evidence that we're limited. There's a lot of struggle. There's a lot of suffering out there. And the money game is one of the most compelling and powerful props, you could say, that we all kind of buy into to support the illusion of limitation, the illusion of struggle, the illusion of not being safe in life. And what we want to do first and foremost is just get into a truthful relationship with what I just said. That you are indeed an infinite being who came here to play this game of locking in some limitations, struggling, feeling, probably like a victim to circumstances, and figuring out for yourself how to transform into the heroic version of yourself, and using money as a symbol for doing that. So is your desire for wealth coming from that particular place, where you can see it more or less as a fun game, as an opportunity to reclaim your power in life, and not taking it so seriously, not being so attached to your financial situation looking a specific way? So that's the big picture framework that we're diving into here, is that the desire to be wealthy is a reflection of the desire to expand internally, to reclaim your spiritual and emotional power, and to offer value, to be generous to the world. And with that said, let's talk about point number 2, which is to get very clear in your depths. Why do you want prosperity? Most of us think we know the answer to this question and that it's fairly obvious. But with a little probing, we see we really don't know very clearly. And I want to ask you, why do you want it? What do you think it's going to do for you to be rich or to have prosperity? Is it just to relieve some of the stress or pressure you feel so you never have to worry about money again? That's honestly the most common reason people choose to go after wealth. They're like, I never want to have to think about this again. I don't want to have to deal with this. It's just, let's get this out of the picture so I can focus on other things. But the problem with that way of seeing it is that's not really about prosperity. That's about not having to feel the discomfort of survival. And those are two different things. So prosperity is about generosity. Like I said, it's about expansion. The energy, the vibrational frequency of prosperity is a playful energy. It's lighthearted, it's curious, and it's benevolent. It wants others to shine, to flourish in life. So is your vision for wealth incorporating that way of seeing it? Or is it more about the kind of self-centric idea that I just want to bypass or escape the discomfort of surviving? And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's not really about being wealthy or prosperous. It's about just surviving in a more comfortable way. And the reason a lot of people don't get wealthy is because it's not what they actually want. They're not taking action from that place of inspired vision and commitment and doing it every day no matter what. They don't have that burning desire to actualize this because what they really want is just to be more comfortable with money, not necessarily to be rich. So what is your vision for this? Is that vision strong enough? Do you know yourself on a deep enough level? Do you have enough self-awareness to say, undoubtedly, yes, I want prosperity because I want to expand. I want to be generous. I want to do something that leaves a legacy. I want to offer as much value as I can to the world. And I want to use money as an opportunity to optimize my potential while I'm here. If that's your deep core vision and desire, now we can talk about the next step. But if you feel like you really just want to survive in a better, more comfortable way, well, this is a different question to ask. And you just want to be clear on where you're at and be honest with yourself in that way. Okay, so if you're still here with me and you know you have a strong vision, you know that this is part of your core desire to be wealthy. What we need to do next, framework number 3, is identify and then clear the blocks to prosperity. So the way I've come to see this is that the inner blocks to wealth creation are largely about the stories we tell ourselves, largely about the conditioning that was indoctrinated into us at a young age. And once again, if we return to point number 1, which is we're infinite beings who came here to have this really interesting human experience that has to have limitation built into it to make the story interesting, if that's our premise that we're operating under, then clearing blocks is and becoming wealthy is part of the purpose of your life. It's about reclaiming your power and figuring out how to become the hero of your story. So these blocks aren't actually real. They're illusions that feel very real and that pull us in all kinds of directions and that definitely dictate our circumstances in many ways. But the way I've come to see them is, things like anger, fear, self-doubt, inner conflict, overwhelm, negative beliefs about ourselves and our lives, limiting beliefs. All of this is like corrupted files in our internal operating system. And these files were essentially planted inside of each of us as humans by the creative force that shaped us into existence. So I call that force infinite intelligence. And who you really are at your core is infinite intelligence. Playing this fun game of pretending like you're human for a bit. That's what it means to be an infinite being. And all of these blocks, you could say, these limiting beliefs, these negative emotions, or stories you tell about your worth, your value, about money in general. Money's evil. It's the root of evil. It's greedy to make a lot of it. I'm not worthy. We have a million different variations of this, right? All of this is infinite intelligence pretending like it's limited for a period of time. So here's the reason I'm going deeply into this. You can't just tell yourself, I'm rich, I'm wealthy, I deserve success, I'm worthy, and try to force that into your consciousness and rewire your subconscious mind if you don't have the right philosophical framework. Why are you doing that? What's it really doing? What you're really doing is getting into a truthful relationship with these blocks. You're experiencing yourself more and more as this infinite intelligence and less as a limited separate self. And that's where the power of manifestation can finally come alive. If you're lugging around this heavy, separate sense of self that feels solid and limited, what's inevitably going to happen is trying to manifest prosperity feels forced. It feels manufactured. It doesn't really work. There's no real power in it. So we want to think of these blocks not as real, not as who you are. You don't take them personally. You see them as corrupted files or frequency states of energy that come and go. It's not you in there feeling angry or doubting yourself or telling crappy stories about money. That's not you. It's not something you need to take personally. It's coming from a different place. And it's coming from infinite intelligence to play this fun game of pretending like you're limited. So just starting to see the blocks in that way is the basis of liberating them. It's getting into that truthful relationship with what they really are. So you don't need to try to force them out or bypass them or, affirm or meditate your way out of these blocks. You just need to get into a truthful way of seeing them. Where do they really come from? And what's the true nature of them? That's what helps you clear them with pretty much in an effortless way. So you could also say that part of getting into a truthful relationship with these blocks is learning how to stop resisting and judging them because you're not taking them personally. You're not solidifying around them. Instead, you're stepping out of them, seeing them as corrupted files, and then when you notice there's discomfort based around money, survival, striving for more, if you're stuck on the success hamster wheel in life, just chasing money and you're burned out, that you start to train yourself to shower these blocks with love, compassion, and acceptance. They're there for a reason. Most of the time, we unconsciously slap on judgments and labels. Say, oh, I like this emotion, I don't like this one. This one feels good, I'll take more of that, less of this one over here. From this point of view, everything you're experiencing right now emotionally in your mental space is there for a reason. You can accept it. You can trust that it's there from an intelligent place, even if it's painful, even if you feel like it's ruined your life or blocked you from prosperity. The first step is always showering it with deep acceptance. This is the path of letting go. Letting go into the discomfort in a way that allows it to vaporize. It's that old adage, what you resist persists. And if you resist negative emotions and blocks, that means you're taking them personally. You're solidifying around them. And the judgment you have towards yourself or towards the universe or towards life is locking those patterns deeper in and reaffirming that you'll be stuck in the same cycles endlessly. So the way out of that isn't to try harder or to force it out or to judge yourself more. It's to let go. So shift number 4 here, framework number 4, is as you let go of your resistance to these patterns, to these blocks, you start to assume a new identity. And this is the juggling act of this path. One component of it is surrendering to what's here now and learning to love it no matter what, no matter how quote-unquote bad you think it's been or how many mistakes you've made. You learn to love yourself deeply for being where you are right now. And the other component of this is actively assuming a new identity. So there's this idea that's kind of proven scientifically that the brain does not want to change. And even positive change, the human brain tends to resist. And this is why so many of us find it so difficult to take these huge leaps in our finances where we can go from making, $50,000 a year to $500,000 a year or whatnot. It's because our old identity is locked into place. And our brain is saying, okay, let's do more of that because that's certain, and it keeps us safe. It wards off uncertainty. And even if it's not what we want, it still feels safer than going after a higher expression of what we want, if that makes sense. So what we have to do, in essence, is gently train the brain to be totally cool with change. And once again, the reptilian part of your brain, that limbic system, that primal mind, is just trying to keep you alive. It's trying to keep you safe. And the best way it knows how to do that is to lock into place what's here now. It craves certainty above all else. And that's why change is so painful, so hard for so many of us. Once you learn how to navigate through the territory of your mind in this way, change can be very easy. It can be fun. It can be inspiring. But that's learning how to kind of vibrate at a higher level where you no longer unconsciously, correlate uncertainty or change with a lack of safety, with danger. So you can start assuming this new identity just by holding this kind of philosophy in your heart, number one, and hearing these thoughts regularly so they get planted in at a deep level. But this is also where the power of your imagination can be very helpful. So train yourself to see it as already happening, that you're already where you want to be financially. Anchor in the feeling state of that. Allow yourself to deeply and vividly experience the emotions of already being there, of already having all the money that you want, all the success. Who would you be? How would you carry yourself in time and space if that was already here now? And so you have to kind of bypass the logical mind that says, well, it's not here. I don't see evidence of that. That's more of your brain trying to keep you safe. So you have to have some fun with this and be light and loose and playful, just like a child would, and just start to play around with different frequencies of energy. What would it feel like if I was rich? What would it feel like if money flowed into my life with ease? So what you're doing with this exercise, it's not coming from a place of willpower or force. You're not trying to manufacture positive states, because you're seeing clearly that you're an infinite being having this human experience. And if it's a core desire to become wealthy in this life, meaning that desire is genuine, it's part of your deep, heartfelt vision, it's been there a long time, it doesn't go anywhere, then there's a relevance to that in your story. You're meant to experience wealth, most likely. So you don't have to force it. You don't have to try really hard for it in a negative sense, a depleting sense. And there's a deep fundamental truth here that nothing's actually missing right now. That existence itself is abundance. Existence itself is abundance. And what you're doing is learning to align with that way of seeing. So the quest for wealth is coming from a place of being already whole, already there, in a sense. And that's your new identity. You can use your imagination to see the end in mind and to enjoy the experience of shifting into that new sense of being. And then shift number 5 here is, of course, to take inspired action. And we all know this, right? You most likely, unless you have mystical superpowers, you can't just sit on your couch and manifest your way to prosperity. You have to take action. Sometimes money can pop into your reality from a completely mysterious and spontaneous place. That's amazing. We love when that happens, but I wouldn't bank on that as, how you live your life going forward here. Once you have a compelling, strong vision, you understand what value you have to offer, it's coming from a place of generosity. Then you want to, in a sense, reverse engineer the steps to get there. If you're already wealthy, you're already tapped into that frequency state, play around with this in a very loose, spacious way. What action steps would I be taking to create that? Now, to be honest with you, part of my vision is this YouTube channel and doing videos like this. It's about following that breadcrumb trail of excitement. Like, where does the energy take you? What uplifts you? Doing these videos, it's uplifting to me. There's energy around it. There's a resonance that I just follow because I really enjoy it. And you want to find the same for yourself. We don't want the wealth creation to come from a place of burden or force. There's a natural energy that you can tap into that is guiding you and saying, do this, do more of this, over here. And you want to take action from that place. And you don't want to take meager, kind of timid action. You want your action to be as aggressive and relentless and powerful and fierce and badass as you possibly can. So every day when you wake up, there's a burning desire to go after this, to really implement it, to actualize this in the world, to leave your mark. But that desire is not fueled by lack or neediness or attachment. Existence itself is abundance, and you becoming wealthy is just icing on the cake. You're already there. And the fierceness, the boldness, is coming from a place of, I'm not attached to outcomes, and because I'm an infinite being, and this is all being shaped from this underlying infinite intelligence, I can't really screw this up. I can't really get off track. I can't really fail. And when you get into a truthful relationship with that way of seeing, it frees up your energy to really go after it. That's really what courage is based on, is getting into that truthful alignment with who you really are. So take action every day. Take action every day. Build that muscle of repetitive action steps towards your desired goals. But keep in mind, this is all playful. It's all fun. You're already there. There's no urgency in a negative sense. There's no neediness. And this is just your new identity. And you're assuming it's already here. You're acting from a place of, I've already shifted into this parallel reality. This is just who I am now. And even if it takes 10 years or whatever in linear time, you don't really care. You just know who you are, and you know what you want and what your core values are, and you're going after it. So most people give up prematurely. They tell a BS story that says, oh, well, I had to attend to blah, blah, blah over here, or, it wasn't working the way I wanted, so I gave up. That's the way most humans operate. And once again, that's the brain keeping us safe. The brain is very good at telling a clever, compelling story that yanks us out of our mission, our vision, and comes up with some lame excuse as to why we can't really keep going. So you need to be vigilant, especially at first, of monitoring that and not taking it personally. So you need to be, you want to become essentially unstoppable. There's no story you could tell. There's no self-sabotage that could distract you or pull you off course here. You're internally aligned so that you're unstoppable. Doesn't matter what happens in the economy, the political realm. Doesn't matter what happens today in terms of the results you're getting. You just keep going. And that's, if you really read, the stories, the autobiographies of wealthy people, the Steve Jobs, the Bill Gates, all these people, there's so much of that in their story. Just this relentless theme of perseverance. But man, that perseverance is so much more powerful and enjoyable if you're not lugging around this separate, solid sense of self. When you get into a state of universal flow and you align with the truth that you're already abundant, you existing is abundance. This is all icing on the cake. That's what makes the perseverance energizing rather than depleting, because it's coming from genuine, heartfelt desire rather than fear, neediness, and attachment. They're two very, very different spectrums of energy that you can pull from. So I'll leave you with this final thought. If you've had a long-held, heartfelt desire to experience prosperity and wealth in your life, it's there for a reason. It's a relevant part of your story. It's not random. This infinite intelligence planted that in you. And you have every right to actualize it. There's nothing missing. There's nothing you've done that has that has legitimately caused you to not have it, or that will prevent you from having it in the future, you're already worthy. You're already worthy since you're here. Existence is abundance. You were created from a place of abundance and love. And all the mistakes that you've made, or all the ways you've gotten off track and gotten confused, or felt like you've been spinning your wheels, even all the ways you've hurt others in a sense, or like feel like that's ammunition for struggling in your life. Surrender means you're getting into a truthful relationship with all that. You're showering it with love because you understand it's not really you that did all that. It's this underlying intelligence that is shaping itself into the appearance of these things happening. And as you start to see it from that place, it's liberating, it's relieving. And the manifestation work you're doing becomes infinitely more powerful because it's coming from a truthful place. So if you like this hopefully new, a little deeper way of seeing manifestation and actualizing prosperity in your life, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you could leave a like and a comment on the video, that would be awesome. Let me know what your biggest takeaway was. And I'll be sharing a lot more of this kind of content to really ground in these principles so you can live a free, fulfilled, unfettered life starting now.